Welcome to Sportscaster News. It's Friday, and we have a championship weekend to go over. Let's talk about the injury report, shall we? I mean, injuries are going to be a big deal in both of these games on Sunday, and I think we need to really check some of this stuff out. Let's check out the Kansas City-Buffalo game. Now, first and foremost, we all know that Kansas City has a very big star player that's on the injury report due to an injury that he suffered last week's game. And we're going to leave that for last because there's some thought process on that I'd like to get through. But first off, linebacker Willie Gay, he's got an ankle injury, has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday. We'll look to see if possibly he practices today. But if you don't practice for the first two games, it's most likely you don't play, so you may not have Willie Gay at the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Bashaud Breeland, the cornerback, concussion. A concussion. Oh, he's also dealing with a shoulder injury, but the concussion is the bigger deal. He's had a couple limited practices. He needs a full practice to have a shot to be released to play tomorrow on Saturday. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire is dealing with an ankle and a hip injury. He's been limited. He'll probably play, but we're looking to see. I don't know how big of a deal that is because the simple fact that they have had other running backs that have been doing very well, especially last week in their game that they played over the past weekend. Rashad Fenton, the cornerback, dealing with a foot injury. He also has been limited all week. And as a foot injury for a cornerback, that's not a good thing. You generally don't want to see those guys on the field if a foot injury is bothering them because that obviously affects how they can cover a wide receiver. Sammy Watkins, calf injury, limited both weeks. I expect him to play, though. I mean, come on. It's probably more of just trying to get that to heal up as fast and as well as possible before the game starts. I don't see Sammy Watkins missing this game. And Le'Veon Bell, dealing with a knee injury, did not practice Wednesday, did not practice Thursday, okay? Out of nowhere, knee injury, and not practicing on Thursday, that's kind of a scary situation, right? I don't know. I would think you'd want Le'Veon or CEH playing in this game. Both of them banged up, one with a knee and obviously the other with an ankle hip. But we'll see. Both those guys are good out of the backfield catching the football. But the guy throwing the football that we really need to touch on now is Patrick Mahomes. Dealing with the concussion first and foremost. Then obvious that toe injury that he suffered in the same game last week. But he's had limited Wednesday and Thursday. Now today he needs to get through a full practice. That's part of the concussion protocol. He has to get through that full practice. Just like Rashad. And then that way, he can move on to the next stage and have that independent doctor be able to clear him on Saturday to play Sunday. Now, there has been speculation, this game should be postponed because, we've been postponing games all year, right? For stuff, having them played on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, whatever. But that had to do with COVID. That has nothing to do with an injury. You see, concussions are not contagious. COVID is. And injury's part of the game. And you don't want to put a player like Patrick Mahomes or Breeland or anyone for that matter who's had a concussion that has not fully recovered from that concussion back on the field. First, once you've had a concussion and fully healed from it, it makes it easier to get another one. And the more you have, the easier it gets. And it can literally spiral out of control because after you have a certain amount of concussions in a certain spot of time, you can't play football anymore. The doctors will not clear you to play football anymore. That's happened to multiple players in the NFL just in the past 10, 15 years. especially with the new head injury things that's been going on. Now, Patrick Mahomes is a big case. Does Patrick Mahomes want to miss this game? No. Does the team want him to miss this game? No. Does the fans want him to miss this game? No. But for the fact that we are dealing with someone's health, his brain, for God's sake, if he is not fully recovered from this concussion, he should not play. Because one bad hit could re-aggravate the concussion and make it even worse. In a time when we're dealing with CTE, we don't want this kind of stuff going on in the NFL. I would rather Patrick Mahomes be safe for his career than go out and have a chance to play a game in a championship game. I get it. I understand you want to win. But come on, guys. I mean, this is a day and age where the NFL is faster, stronger. I mean, people hit harder. So concussions happen. And concussions are going to start happening to big-time quarterbacks. As we've seen last week, both Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes went out with a concussion. This is what happens. It's going to happen even more so when you have these type of quarterbacks out there that scramble and try to extend a play. They're going to get hit more often. Now, I understand that these were different circumstances. It's not like they took off running across the field, trying to scramble for yardage. These were sacks in which they got their concussions. But still, it's going to happen more and more often. So we need to be prepared for things like this. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please take a moment, smash that like button, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live or upload a video. I go live once a week, at least 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. And I upload videos all the time for the entire NFL. So please, give me a follow, smash that like button. And until next time, have a good one. Now moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Quite frankly, Tyler Bass, the kicker, has got a hand injury. Now he's practiced all week, full practices. It's a hand injury. How does a hand injury mess with a kicker? I could see a hip. I could see a knee, a quad, an ankle, something of that nature. But this boy is kicking on Sunday. Vernon Butler, the defensive tackle, has got a quad injury, has not practiced all week. It's not a good sign. Now it is just a quad, and it's quite possible he might be able to play even without practicing all week, but he might be on a limited snap count. The same goes for Gabriel Davis, the wide receiver. He's dealing with an ankle injury, did not practice all week. Most likely, this is just to get him healed up 100%. Stefan Diggs has been dealing with this oblique for quite some time, limited. This is more of a just kind of rest him, like I said before with other players. You need to rest this guy up, get this oblique healed up as much as possible so that he could play better on the field. Like I said, he had it last week. He had it the week before. And it didn't seem to really affect him too much. Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker, hamstring injury, full practices both Wednesday and Thursday. I don't see any problems with him playing on Sunday, and that's a big deal because Tremaine Edmonds is going to be needed out there to help cover certain players, especially receiving out of the backfield. I don't know if you're going to put Tremaine on a tight end, but he may be him or Milano might be asked from time to time to spy Patrick Mahomes if he plays. Jake Fromm, he's been limited all week. It's not injury related. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't think we'll see Jake Fromm in this game. It could be he's just limited just to kind of bring him into the game just in case, but I don't even think we'll even see him in the game. I mean, come on, this is a championship game. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen's going to take every snap. Quentin Jefferson, defensive lineman, has dealing with an ankle injury. He was limited on Wednesday, but full practice on Thursday. So that's a really good sign. I don't think there's going to be any issues with him. Daryl Johnston, or Johnson, sorry. I'm used to saying Daryl Johnston because let's face it, the Moose, the fullback for the Cowboys back in the 90s. Yeah, I'm that old. I'm sorry. But no, it's Daryl Johnson, the defensive end, full practice all week dealing with a knee injury. He'll be fine. You're going to need these guys. You're going to need Butler. You're going to need Edmonds. You're going to need Jefferson and Johnson because you're going to need a very solid front seven to help contain Patrick Mahomes if he plays this Sunday. Now, Cole Beasley still dealing with the knee injury. He was limited on Thursday. I think that was more of he wasn't limited on Wednesday. He was just limited on Thursday, so I got a feeling maybe it kind of swelled up just a little bit on him. He played. He's played this entire playoffs, so I don't see a problem. I don't foresee him not playing. He might be on a limited snap count like we've seen, but he'll still play. Josh Allen looks like he'll have all of his weapons out there, except maybe Davis. Maybe Davis. But most likely Davis will probably be out there on a limited snap count as well. Now, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These guys have a bit more of a list that we need to get through. Like Chris Barnes, the linebacker. He's got a thumb problem. Limited practice Thursday, limited practice Wednesday. It's a thumb. It'll be taped up, cast. He'll play. Guaranteed. Mason Crosby, shoulder. He'll play. He's had this shoulder for a while. He's limited on Wednesday and Thursday. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll be out there kicking. A.J. Dillon, the running back, dealing with a quad injury. That's not good. Limited. Both days this week. I don't like having quad injuries for running backs and wide receivers. It's just not something that you want to see. Concussion alert for Kingsley Kiki, the defensive lineman. He's been limited. Again, limited Wednesday and Thursday. That's a good sign, but he still needs to have that full practice today on Friday and then get cleared for Saturday in order to play. Alan Lazard has got a wrist and a back problem. He's been limited all week. He'll play. He'll play this Sunday. He's been dealing with multiple injuries throughout this season and somehow finds a way to kind of soldier through and get into games. This is a game where Alan Lazard needs to show up. Mercedes Lewis, the tight end, dealing with a knee injury, was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. I don't know if Lewis is going to be that big of a deal. Anyhow, he generally is out there just blocking for the most part. You don't see him really get the ball thrown to him too much in this offense, considering the weapons they have at wide receiver. And then, of course, Robert Tonyan out there. But it's possible he might play. Like I said, he didn't practice today, but that could be more just, trying to get him some time to heal up a little. Will Redmond, the safety, dealing with a knee injury. He was full practice on Wednesday, limited practice on Thursday. Sounds to me like he had a little bit of a flare-up, but most likely he'll end up playing as well. Zadarius Smith, the linebacker. Again, another thumb. 2 thumb injuries at the linebacking core? What? Limited both days. They'll both play. They'll tape it up and go. You got to have Zadarius Smith out there playing. He's your best linebacker. Come on now. St. Brown, the wide receiver, dealing with a knee and ankle. Limited practice Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not sure how big this injury is, just for the simple fact that it's a knee and an ankle. You're dealing with 2 injuries dealing with legs. 2 separate injuries dealing with the legs. And that has everything to do with being a wide receiver. He's not going to be able to get in and out of his breaks, get open, that kind of situation. But then again, as long as they have MVS, Alan Lazard, and the other guys, I'm not going to even mention the other wide receiver. Robert Tonyan, some other guys. As long as they're out there, I don't think St. Brown's going to be a big miss if he has to. Rick Wagner, the tackle, offensive tackle, he's dealing with a knee injury, limited practice both days. Now, knee injuries for guys who are offensive linemen are a monster deal. Because unless with a brace. Now, obviously, they'll drop a brace because when you're a 300-plus pound lineman and you have a knee injury, all that weight, it's not just your weight that knee has to support. It has to support the weight and power of the defensive lineman coming up on you, right? So that's an issue. That's an issue that's going to need to be looked at a little bit more. And then, of course, Jamal Williams also dealing with an ankle. I fully expect him to play as well. Him and A.J. Dillon will most likely get a lot of split on reps of carries, just like they did last week. Now, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, wide receiver Antonio Brown has been dealing with a knee injury and has not practiced on Wednesday or Thursday. This is not looking good, but then again, Antonio Brown and Tom Brady have had a connection while they were on the field since he's been with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing. He could not practice all week and come in and play and become a big part of the game. We'll see what happens. Mike Evans, obviously dealing with a knee. He's been injury prone all year. He has been limited practice Wednesday and Thursday. I expect him to play, but he may be on a limited snap count. It's not going to hurt him too much considering they have so much depth at the receiver position for Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin, again, another wide receiver, quad injury, limited all week. Again, same thing. He'll most likely play. They'll just flip guys in and out a lot. Ron Jones, the running back, quad and a finger. I expect him to play. He played with this quad injury last week. He's limited. He's just probably trying to get a little bit of rest, try to heal that up a little bit more. Jeremiah Ledbetter, the defensive lineman, dealing with a calf injury, full practice all week. I don't see an issue here. Most likely he'll be able to play. Ollie Marpet, the guard, has a pectoral muscle. He's been full practice Wednesday and Thursday. That seems like to me he will play. Pectoral muscles are something you don't want to mess with also when you're playing defensive line or offensive line. Just with a simple fact, there is a lot of upper body movement and muscles that are used there with a lot of weight being thrown around. And a torn pectoral muscle is nothing you want to really worry about having happen. So I don't expect him to miss because he has had full practices already. And he would be limited if there was a fear of that. All right, going down to Sean Murphy Bunting, the cornerback, dealing with a quad and an ankle. Limited practice Wednesday and Thursday. Now, like I said before, I don't know the severity. A quad and an ankle, these are both leg injuries. For a cornerback, it's not a good sign, especially when you got to cover guys that Aaron Rodgers is throwing to and has made wide receivers look really, really good. Hopefully he'll be able to have a full practice on Friday. But at the same time, that's not a good thing at all. Jason Pierre-Paul dealing with that knee injury. Has not practiced all week. Not a good sign. I saw the injury that happened to him. I don't know if he plays this week. Jordan Whitehead, the safety, dealing with a knee injury, been limited all week. I expect him to play, though. The good thing about being at the safety position, you don't make a lot of cuts like you do at cornerback because generally you're not playing a lot of man coverage, close man-to-man coverage. You generally only make one break per play, and you have an angle set to make to intercept a player with a football, and that's the one break that you have. That's the pressure on the knee. The limited practices don't bother me with Jordan Whitehead. Now, Antoine Winfield Jr. is dealing with an ankle. He had a full practice Thursday. A full practice. I don't see him missing. I really don't. Okay? I got Whitehead and Winfield both playing. I think Antoine Winfield, the rookie, is had a phenomenal season. I think he'll continue to do so in this game. and he's going to need one. He's going to need a phenomenal game during this one in order for Tampa Bay to defeat the Green Bay Packers and, quite frankly, the consensus MVP of the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. Guys, I will be back on Sunday morning with my boys Ray Rout and Keith McPherson. I'm not sure if Joe Nubo will be with me as we break down these games and let you know what to expect and give you who we believe will win the game. But until next time, I want to thank you for watching here on Sportscaster. Please don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.